everybody, welcome to Power Hour, starring myself, Ron Harris, and of course, the one and only Giles, Tiger Thomas. Big show today. We're going to go over the Tampa Pro from last weekend, the Texas Pro coming up this weekend, and on the same damn weekend, the Masters Olympia. Woo! A lot of contests going on, Giles. This is it. We're getting very, very close to the Olympia weekend now.
I know, it's creeping up, isn't it?
It really is. So let's start. Let's kick it right off with Tampa. So here was your top four. We had a big surprise with the Joe Palacios there on the left. It was only his second pro show. He took 15th at his pro debut at the Cali Pro last year. So I didn't see this guy coming at all. Jordan Hutchinson, you and many other people were saying this was a heavy favorite, and I agree. It turns out you were right. Mystic Tiger strikes again. Quinton Eriya, best Quinton I've ever seen. And John Jewett, very respectable in fourth. So were you watching the stream, Giles? Were you watching any of this?
No, I was I was just following the all the updates on social media and all the different accounts. And I was because remember last week I've been pretty adamant for weeks that Jordan I've been listening to him in the kitchen. Jordan Hutchinson was going to come in and win this because I could just see on all the updates, even at 6 weeks, 8 weeks out, you know, I was zooming in on the pictures, I was really analyzing it, and I thought, okay, he's really, really, really leveled up. I think it was, I heard he was about 16 pounds heavier, and you could see it in all the updates. You could see that it was just that one last thing that he needed. But if you remember last week, I was saying, I can't tell what's going on with Quint because in some updates he looks sensational, and in other updates in different lighting he looked kind of the same, you know. So I didn't really. So when you know Mike was obviously Mike Cox was there, and he put those first couple of pictures on the group chat, and he was like, "Wow, Quinton's going to the O. He looks amazing." I was like, "Okay, this is the Quinton we've been waiting to see for many, many years." And it looks like he's finally nailed it. So, I was really, really happy to see that he's kind of inching a lot closer to that, the potential that we've always known he's had. And I said, he reminds me of where kind of Samson was in 2022, where he's just broke through to that next ceiling, but the next ceiling above that is kind of basically what we saw Samson do in 2023 and 2024, because I think he has that kind of potential. I think he has the frame, he has the genetics, he has the beautiful X shape, and but he's kind of at that. He's like I said, he's just hit that next ceiling, and I think he's just about. He's not far from breaking through to the next level now, and I think so. The next couple of years are going to be very, very interesting for Quinton.
Yeah, and you know, I was same as you. I was looking at all the Instagram clips and footage and everything. And they were very close. As the score sheet showed that they were only a point. Jordan was 1 point ahead of him after judging. However, Jordan tightened up. This was the finals a few hours later. I don't think Quinton faded. At first I thought so, but it was actually just the fact that Jordan tightened up. And that closed the gap. He was 5 points ahead of him at the finals, and that was enough for a very, very decisive victory there. So, but Quinton, man, I guess the question is now they're.
Do you know what I said that? If you remember,
go ahead.
Sorry, before the finals, remember I put on the group chat and I said, sorry, been some Brazil nuts. I said I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to think that Jordan maintains his peak like he did at prejudging, and I'm guessing that Quinton won't be able to hold what he had from prejudging. And then Mike was there, sat in the audience. He said that's exactly what's happened. You've got it bang on there, Giles. Because the thing is with Jordan, he's been in really, really good condition for a number of weeks. Like he's coming nice and steadily, and it seems to be the guys that are in condition longer before a show that are able to hold it better. Whereas for Quinton, I couldn't really tell. And something about the really tall guys, they really struggle to hold fullness and condition throughout a show. If you remember Dennis Wolf, I remember being at the 2010 Olympia when he first came out, full hard. And by the end of prejudging, his upper body looked like really flat and lifeless. I don't know, Jay Cutler's not like a 6 foot guy, but he was like 5'9". But he had the really, really big, thick guys. They really struggled to hold that kind of conditioning and fullness, because I think with Quinton, he has struggled with his fullness. I mean, we've seen updates and video of him looking amazing, and then on the day of the show, obviously with the water cut and whatever they do with diuretics and everything, whatever they do, he's really struggled with that, and that's been his Achilles heel up till now. So I said, I bet you that Jordan holds his peak, and Quinton struggles to keep it. And then actually, Mike said, he said, looks like Jordan's lost that slight film of water he had at pre-judging, and he looks even better tonight. So I said, okay, then, because I had Jordan winning, then I was kind of flip-flopping through the day, watching the updates. And then nighttime, I was like, when Mike said that, I said, okay, Jordan's going to win this then. And and obviously at the finals, he won it quite decisively.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of shape and aesthetics and flowing lines, Quinton Eriya, he embodies all of that. It's just such a beautiful physique. It's, as our buddy Milos would say, #bodybuilding. But he had some gaps that Jordan really exposed. The hamstring still needs some work. The back thickness still needs some work. I thought the condition this was probably the best condition I've ever seen from Quinton. But it just goes to show you, two very, very different physiques. But Jordan had, it's just on that day, he had him beat. But so we're looking at these two as the heavy favorites going into Texas. What could Quinton do to possibly overtake him in 5 days?
Hang on, this is from the finals, isn't it?
I believe so.
I can tell because Quinton doesn't look as good. He doesn't look as good. He doesn't look, everything's not full and popping. Because remember when he that Vilko footage, when he first walks out and he came on and everyone just like lost their minds. Like I looked at that and I thought to myself, I thought he's not going to be able to hold that because he's one of those guys that comes out really, really strong and then fades. So I think for him, he has to be able to learn how to maintain that through the day, either with what he's eating or what he's doing with his kind of like the last couple of days before the show. But I'm obviously I wasn't disappointed to hear that Jordan was doing Texas. This is the video. I mean, look, that looks like a totally different guy to the one we just saw before, where he's out with Jordan next to him,
bursting full.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, that's like, they struggle to, some guys, like the really, really big, tall guys. Remember with the 2022 Olympia when the guys weren't out on stage till like 11:30 at night?
Yeah.
And because Bonak told me, he says, we were told to be backstage for 6, be on stage ready for 7. And they weren't on stage till 11:30. Then by the time Ramy came out, he just looked like a shadow of himself. And I know that there were certain things going wrong with his physique, but I'm telling you, I think that would have played a factor of why he didn't look as good as he did, as we expected him to as the current Mr. Olympia. And I'm telling you, the tall guys really, really struggle to hold it. So, I mean, he looks completely different here. He looks absolutely phenomenal there. So, but like I said, going back to what I was saying, I was actually almost disappointed when I heard Jordan was doing Texas, because he's he's going to be a front runner given that he's just won Tampa. But I just thought, because I really want to see Quinton get a win and get a qualification, because I know he really, really wants to be at the Olympia, and we all want to see Quinton at the Olympia. But I think it was close. So, I mean, he could tighten up a little bit in a week. I mean, you saw what Patrick Moore did a couple of months ago to the Fort Legion. I mean, how much did he lose in that week? It was ridiculous.
I heard it was like 17 pounds or something ridiculous.
I mean, the thing is, when you're losing 17 pounds in a week, that's more than water. And I mean, you can't really lose a lot of body fat in a week. I mean, you're losing a lot of fullness there. And I think if he lost that kind of weight, even like 10 pounds, he'd lose all that pop and fullness. And I think he'd look worse for it. And I think he probably might not even play second. So I'm just hoping that he just I don't know, just tries to maintain that peak, because he could beat Jordan. I don't know. Jordan's going to be on a roll now, isn't he? He's going to be really confident. So he's going to be thinking coming into this, he's not going to be slipping. He's not going to be taking his foot off the gas. So I don't know. Personally, I love Jordan. I hadn't picked to win this for weeks and weeks before the Tampa show. But personally, I would like to see Quinton win this one.
Of course. And
just so he gets the qualification. It's nothing against Jordan, but almost like, because at the end of the day, it's the last American qualifier. And you want to see Quinton at the Olympia, because it'd be like the first year we saw Andrew Dract on stage at the Olympia in 2022. You want to see how these guys stand next to the absolute best of the best, because someone like Quinton, he does have the potential. He does have Mr. Olympia potential. Yeah. Like I said, he reminds me of a 2022 Samson, where he was kind of just, we just started to see glimmers of what was to come over 2023 and 2024. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, Jordan's obviously the favorite, but I would like to see Quinton win.
Yeah, and for those who are mad at Jordan, Texas was his plan all along. He actually went into Tampa as almost a last-minute decision because he was ready. And he said, why not? I'll just fly over to Tampa, Florida, and try to win that too. So it's not like he had targeted Tampa and then decided, you know what, I'm going to keep going. This was his plan all along. But I agree. I think if it's super, super close this time, closer in the finals and in both the judging and the finals, where it's like a dead heat. If I was a judge, I would. If it's like a tie in my mind, and I'm a judge, I would just give it to Quinton.
Would you?
I would. What the heck?
Oh no! Really?
I mean, what are you going to do? Have some secret tiebreak around to see who lets their gut hang out or something?
Hang on a minute. Tyler doesn't mess around. Do you remember at the Pittsburgh with Nick and Derek?
Yeah,
that was a close. And remember, we saw on the message somebody said, he said, I've heard they might. I think I saw it on Instagram. I don't think Mike said it. He said, I heard they might be rejudging the finals because it was that close. The 1 point decision between Quinton and Jordan. They rejudged it, and I like that because that's what happened between Nick and Derek at the Pittsburgh show because it was so close. It was literally neck and neck. So I don't personally agree with your. Okay, they should give it to the guy. No, because I know that people think that happens, but especially when Tyler's on the judging panel, he doesn't think like that. He thinks like I judge basically what I'm seeing in front of me. If Jordan deserves to win it, and it is by a squeak, he'll give it to Jordan. Because at the end of the day, the Olympia isn't a participation show. It's the best. It's the absolute best of the best. Yeah. There is no go give it to him, because he's not qualified. It doesn't work like that, and I certainly think that's how Tyler and the judges he probably picks. I think that's how he thinks.
So this is why I'm not a judge.
I couldn't be a judge either. I'd hate it.
I would never.
I would be booted off within a couple of weeks because I would just disagree with the head judge on everything probably.
Oh boy. So let's keep going because we did have some surprises.
No shiny shoulders.
Shiny shoulder, yeah. So this was the surprise of the show. Joe Palacios. I guess both Fuad and Milos mentioned him in the lead up to the show, but I didn't even know who he was. He won the 2023 USA. Like I said, he made his debut last year at the Cali Pro, was only 15th. He's coached by Chris Tuttle out of Connecticut. Chris, good friend of Evan Sinapani and training partner back in the day. Great coach, Chris. But he has leveled up. He is so massive. It's a Nick Walker-esque physique. But what were your thoughts? Because I'm sure you didn't have this guy as a favorite either.
No, I didn't. In fact, funny enough, a couple of weeks before I started following on Instagram because I saw him on Bodybuilders Without Borders and I was like, holy shit, look at his upper body. He's incredible. Yeah. And I saw some of the back shots and I was really impressed. So I started following him and I was liking all his posts in the lead up to this show. But again, I didn't even see him as any sort of consideration because we hadn't seen this version of him before. I mean, He wasn't on anyone's radar until obviously coming into this prep. It was starting to catch the attention of a few media outlets. So, yeah, I was really, really impressed. I mean, the upper body, the width, the density. He needs more quads from the front, kind of like Nick. Yeah. But look, when he turned to the side, the hamstring drop. I mean, this guy is I actually put a comment and I said he needs to do some video training collabs with Nick Walker. I said two beasts in the wild. I said that would be really awesome because I do see the similarities, obviously. I mean, he's obviously not at Nick's level. But, I mean, this guy from 15th last year at the Cali to third place here and really standing out because I thought, okay, I think John Dewitt's going to beat him. But, when he got third, I wasn't shocked because he really got a good look in. So, and I like to see guys jump up. Like this is what kind of makes it really exciting for people like myself to follow when somebody goes from 15th in not an Arnold Classic, not like a top level show to sort of like a mid-range pro show to third place here. That shows that he's made significant progress. And this is a guy I'm really, really, and I've been liking all his updates because he just freaks me out. I think his upper body's amazing. Yeah,
and I didn't know, I just got a new sponsor, Blackstone Labs, and
congratulations.
The little thank you. The little commercial that runs before all my videos now. He's the big white dude with tattoos.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a big black dude, a big white guy with tattoos, and a big white guy with no tattoos, and that's him. But,
and I'm telling you, this guy messing around on cables, this guy is he's a beast in the gym. You can tell. You can just tell by the glutes and the back and the big thick traps. Like when you look at like Branch Warren, these guys ain't messing around with the big dumbbells or the cables. Do you know what I mean? They're the big heavy, the old school type trader because that's what basically makes you and I know that's what basically really gets the proper results.
I actually want to show you a before and after because he's put on this size pretty recently. He was not this big. He's coached by Justin Compton, who was an incredible pro, who didn't have a very long pro career. But look at that. This one, that's 5 years. That's 2020 on the left.
It's funny though, because in the first picture, his quads look his best body part.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love seeing like freaky new faces like this. I like the bodies. I mean, you can imagine just walking past him in the gym, you'd be like, holy shit, who's that monster? But it's great to see, because thing is, Tampa is a high profile show. It's not like there's not really any low profile shows in America. But it's good that he jumped into a big lineup, a decent lineup. I mean, there was like you said last week, there's 6-7 guys that could have won this, that had the capabilities of winning this. So it was probably, I would say actually, this was probably one of the deepest lineups of the year. So to go in and get third, beating John Jewett, beating some of these other great names like John Delarosa who won it, that's a win in itself. So I'm really, really happy for him. And watch out this next year or two, because if he's gaining this fast, imagine how he's going to look next year, really, really focusing on the quads and, because the condition's good, the separation's good, the density's good. So it's exciting to see, exciting new faces in the sport.
Now, Jewett, I don't know why Gilco doesn't have his posing footage up, unfortunately. So this is all we have to go on is how he looked. But, he was fighting. It was actually the scorecard. It wasn't incredibly close between him and Joe, but John is solidified as an open guy. He's never going back to 212. He won an open show last year in Vancouver. I thought the condition was really good. What does he need to do to try to move up?
Just more of the same. I mean, he's probably like when we were talking about it last week, it's like, well, I just automatically spat out. I said, well, he's going to be in condition. He's going to be full. He's going to be peak, because the guy is so scientific. He's like, it reminds me when I used to compete, where every little tiny minute detail, it's almost like a form of bloody OCD, sort of, like that's sort of like I'm on the spectrum where I'm literally weighing everything to the gram, and and every single, everything's planned out. Nothing's taken. Nothing's done to chance. And I like people like that. I like the scientific people, the nerdy people that really go into the real details of the industry of his training. he knows exactly how many reps he's doing on the negative, on the positive. Yeah. He's really turned bodybuilding into a science. And the thing is, his physique reflects that. So, with John, he looks superb. He looked absolutely fantastic. It's just, it was a very, very deep show. He beat the guy who won it last year. He beat a lot of good bodybuilders. So obviously he's doing Texas. So I think we'll just see more of the same, which is a bloody fantastic physique. Yeah.
So let's keep on going down the line. Get rid of that. So who was fifth place was
Delarosa.
No, it was Bruno.
Oh, Bruno. Yes, of course. Well, yeah. Okay.
I'm actually starting to feel bad because I think Bruno got a lot of hate after Nathan placed below him a few weeks ago, and was it Portugal, right?
Yeah.
The guy's a workhorse. How many shows is this for him this year? There's like 5 or 6 at least.
Yeah, he's done a few.
And he's peaked. I found out he's actually much taller than I thought. He's about a little over 6 foot or 6 foot.
Is he?
And he's 260 pounds.
Oh, wow. So the thing is, when you see that on stage in the flesh, your eyes are going to be drawn to the big, because he's not one of those big guys that isn't in condition. He's big, he's tall, he's wide, he's in condition. And the thing is, at 260, that's really, really small. Because to me, he looked like in my eyes, looking at like sort of stuff on a computer screen or a phone screen, I had him shorter, lighter. So the thing is, those guys, when they're on stage, are going to be more impressive in the flesh than what we're seeing on our phones, which, let's face it, that's how most of us observe the sport. Yeah. Most of these, a lot of these Instagram fans and, casual fans and stuff like that. So I suppose in the flesh, he's going to look a lot more impressive than what we're seeing now.
Yeah, and he's very consistent. The guy, he's been very conditioned at every show. I haven't seen him flat or holding water or anything like that. So I'll give the guy his props. I think because I was a little biased because I know Nathan a little bit, and how dare he beat Nathan? But you know what? Bruno's not a judge. Like, we can't blame him for what happens.
It was good. Yeah.
That's great. All right. So let's move on to 6th place was last year's winner, Jonathan Delarosa. Jonathan he's one of the few that's not doing Texas. He announced his retirement the morning after. Bittersweet. I hate to see him go, but I'm happy to see him start a new chapter in his life. In a post, we found out, so he owns a gym, he operates a gym, and he works full-time on top of that.
Wow.
He has no sponsor. Nobody's sponsoring this guy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I totally get it. And he's got a beautiful new wife who's incredibly supportive, and he wants to start a family. So I'm actually very happy for him that he's saying goodbye, because he had a great run. He won 4 pro shows, went to Olympia a few times. He had a great comeback last year. He was 4th at the Arnold UK, Arnold USA, won this show. So, that would have been great to go out on a high note with a win last year, but I don't know. I don't think he was embarrassed himself here. He looked pretty good.
He looked fantastic. Yeah, he looked good. Obviously not as good as last year, because last year was a really, really good year. And the thing is, if he'd have left it after the Olympia last year, we'd have been saying, oh, what if, after that comeback after the bicep tear, you could have done better. But he's come in, he's not got annihilated. He hasn't come like 14th or 15th or joint 16th. He still made top 6. He still looked very, very, very respectable. This wasn't the best John Delarosa we've seen, but this was about a good 80-85% version. So, get out now while you've got your health and you want to start a family, because the thing is, you do another 5 years of doing this, and in 5 years, you might have more injuries, you might have health issues, you might have missed the boat when it comes to having kids and stuff like that. So he's got a business, he's got a gym, he's got a job, he's got a wife, he wants kids. So I think this is a good lesson to other bodybuilders that should be looking when to get out and when to stop, when to say, okay, I'm not going to literally drive myself into the ground, and I'm just going to do this for the sake of doing it as you're placing to tumble and your health fails. I think he's done the right thing. So I like John. I've always liked John, and he's had a bloody good career, because when did he first start competing in the pros? It was like 2011, 2012?
Well, he turned pro in 2011, so he's been a very consistent pro, but he's been competing since I think 2004 or 5.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good time to. Was he early 40s now?
He's 41. Yeah. So
it's 40. Perfect time to cap it.
Exactly. I mean, people will say, well, Dexter was, there's only one Dexter. Like, there's only one Ronnie. You can't apply these principles to every other pro. It's just not.
Hang on a minute. Dexter and Ronnie, kind of the last year or two, certainly the last year, sort of 1 to 2 years, their physique started to, to show wear and tear as well. But why didn't he do that? Actually, thinking John Delarosa could have done the Masters Olympia. He could.
Well, I think he would have had to, like, the Olympia is not like these other shows where on Monday you can call up the promoter and say, hey, what? I want to do your show Saturday.
Good point.
It's an Olympia. They try to solidify the lineup. So 7th place, we just mentioned him a few minutes ago, Patrick Moore. This was a good look for Patrick, but it was a tough, deep lineup. But he's still got a pretty damn good shape, good size. I do like that V taper. I like a lot of his poses. It was just not his day. Just a very, very competitive lineup.
I think he looked brilliant, and I think he did brilliant. I mean, like I said, this was a good lineup with top Olympia competitors. So I think, all top guys that are really, are going to do well. Yeah. This was like a really deep lineup. I don't think he did himself any shame here at all. Do you think he looked? I mean, I saw some pictures of him side by side, and he looked every bit as good as he did at the Fort Legion. So I think he looked the same as he did at Legion, and I think he really did well to hold his peak. Yeah. But I think he did himself proud, and I think he looked really, really good. Because I know early on in the year, the Arnolds and the one of the other shows he did before Legion. What was the one with Legion? Cali.
I think he did the Cali, the Arnold.
Oh, Cali and the Arnold, he did not look good. Imagine if he'd have left it there for the 2025, it would have been a complete, for his year. But at least he did Fort Legion. He did this one. He's done himself proud. So I think he looked great. And sorry, is he doing Texas?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh, he's doing. Yeah, I thought I saw his name on the line this morning. So good on him. Good on him. You'll get a good placing.
So, do I have footage of Emir Omaragic? Do I?
I've not seen many of him. I saw a few back shots, which looked crazy as always.
Well, I do have this. I have the 4th through 8th guys. Yeah, here we go. So here's some footage of Emir there on the right. Not the best aimer I've seen, but you see this was the second call out, guys. It was Patrick, Bruno, John, and Emir. Emir, I don't know if when he flattens out, his legs look even smaller. Because I mean that's what he really needs. He needs those quads to come up. He's got a
Ron,
really yes.
I'm telling you, he needs 1 or 2 more shows to get going. I think you see that. You see these guys when they do their first of like several shows, and nothing's quite popping, and then a week or 2 later, or another show or 2, and they just get better and better and better. Because the thing about Emir, I think he's one of the most consistent guys I've seen, in terms of conditioning and fullness. And the thing is, it's only because what we've seen in the past has been so shocking. Like I've seen him in Romania and Prague and some other European shows. I've seen him in the flesh several times in Spain, And like his fullness and his conditioning is so consistent and it's so crazy. So when you see him like this, you're actually almost disappointed. But I think I reckon it'll take him another 1 or 2 shows to get going. And I think because he looks good here, but I've got it firmly in my mind how I remember how he can look. So I think he'll look better this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, because this is New York Pro last year, and this wasn't even the best, but it was fuller.
Yeah.
When he's fuller, because I think he was second at the Cali Pro last year. He's got a lot of top 5 finishes. This guy. I really like him here. I think he's awesome, and he's I love his back shots. I think he's underrated actually. I don't think he gets enough love because he's had some really good placings. He's very consistent. He's still young, and to be like I said, he was very good, very young, and he's consistently held that. So, but like I said, this is not the best version of Amir, and I think he'll look better at the next couple of shows. Yeah, and I think he's also doing the Germany show coming up in a couple of weeks. Good. There's only 2 more shows after this. It's the Italy show with Mark Hector and Sergio Oliva Jr. And then I don't know who else is doing.
Telling you, mate, Mark Hector. I'm telling you, watch out. I tell you that. I think when you see him on stage, you're gonna and you compare him to how he looked. I saw him guest pose. I think I took Terence Ruffin to in May at Cuba's annual meeting thing, and I tell you what, when he walked on, I was just like, "Holy shit, that's a new version of Mark I've never seen before." He's taken things to another level completely. So I'm really excited to see what he brings in France.
So Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland, he posted these, and he gave a very long explanation of what happened. 3 hours before he went on stage, he looked pretty damn great, and things happened. A little diuretic. What was it? He didn't have enough food. He ended up eating Walmart fake Snickers bars, Rice Krispie bars, and muffins. But he was eating it all morning. Anyway, he didn't end up looking the way he wanted to look. 9th place was not what Stu wanted, not what his fans wanted. And, I feel for him. He's a really nice kid, but things go wrong. Things go wrong with the physique.
Why didn't he sort his food?
I don't know. He said it was an amateur mistake.
Well, hopefully, thing is, things about mistakes, you can learn from them.
Yep.
So if he's doing more shows, then he needs to really fix that problem because I know he lives in Texas, doesn't he?
Yeah, they all live in Texas now.
Yeah, so he's basically So I saw a comment this morning said, "Oh, this is his backyard. He shouldn't make the same mistake twice." So he really shouldn't. So he's kind of really putting on the line here. So I expect him. Having said that, I expect him to look a lot better than he did at Tampa. But he looked good. He looked good. I mean, he's a very, very solid physique. I like his physique.
Yeah.
So I expect him to look better this weekend, basically.
Fair enough. Let's go to. So we're doing the whole top 10 because everyone in the top 10 is going from Tampa is going to Texas.
Fair enough.
Just like we knew they would. But this was another one of the surprises of the show. Where is he? I'm going to mess up his name, so I'm going to have to read it.
Ping.
Is it Pin? Pin Long. And his back was much maligned, but you'll see when he turns around, it's not that bad. It's actually better than it was.
I thought that.
Look at that shape, though. Beautiful. I'm a quad snob. So when I see quads like that, I have to give him a little.
Mate, I really like this guy. I think he was one of the really like surprises of the show. I mean, there's something very eye-catching about his physique. I remember when he was a 212, and I remember thinking, God, it's like this kind of shape and physique you just don't forget. So to see him come back bigger and better, and he still kept all the qualities of the nice small waist and the good condition. I was really impressed with him, and I hope he's encouraged by what he did in Tampa because I think he's moved up. But I think in terms of potential, I think sky's the limit for this guy.
Yeah, I mean a little tighter, little more size. He doesn't need much more size. Certainly the legs don't need any more size.
Oh yeah,
right there.
Yeah, beautiful shape.
That was a whole top 10, but there are a couple. Where's Justin? I want to show
Justin. Oh God, I was crying watching that, mate. I felt so bad for him.
Trying to find it. He was he ended up in 13th place. Yeah, here it is.
No, what happened?
He said he was just outmassed.
I don't think he was. He looks big here. I think he looks really big, and he's got that nice wide shoulder, small waist. I know from the back he wasn't really there was like a bit of a film on his glutes and his back, but I thought he looked really, really good. But the thing is, if he's got because I think basically they knocked him down because of his conditioning from the back, but that can be really, really sharp. I mean, you've seen what Patrick Moore did in a week. If he really drops a few pounds, like say 3-4 pounds this week, and really stays on it and stays focused, I mean, he could be back up in the top 5 easily this weekend.
Yeah, and people are saying, geez, he took a whole year off. He doesn't look that much better. But he made a post explaining that whole year that we thought he had, he didn't really have, because he was having gut health issues, because everyone's got gut health issues now.
Brett Wilkin had those, he's telling me when I was in Sweden with him in April, him and Hunter sat in between him in the bloody van. And he was telling me all about his gut health issues. And it's, Mom, remember my ex? She had that's basically what knocked her out of the industry, because she couldn't get the condition, because if the gut's not working properly and the food's not being absorbed and utilized properly, you're pissing in the wind.
That's exactly why Flex Lewis never made it to the Open and tried to win Mr. Olympia. He had gut health issues. He had the shoulder issue got fixed, but so it's a very real thing. So he was off gear for quite a while. He posted a picture. He was pretty soft at the beginning of the prep, so he didn't have all this time. So hopefully, with all that resolved, after this, he takes some time, because I don't see him winning Texas and qualifying. So I assume after this, he'll be back to the drawing board.
Why doesn't he come and do a European show, or even carry on prepping and do a post-European show like Prague or Romania, or because I mean, thing is, I've got a theory now. Tyler likes ripped glutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember when Derek beat Haddy? The only thing he had over Haddy was really the glutes and the kind of the crazy back, because everything else, it was kind of neck and neck. Yeah. And I think that's something he looks for in conditioning. I think that's something that a lot of modern judges judge bodybuilders on their condition. But if you can see, like, where the glute ties into the quad and the ham, it's very, very, very faint, the line, where normally, like that ping, he had a sharp line, really jutting, everything was kind of densely separated. I think he's only like a week or 2 weeks away from kind of bringing his best physique. And I mean, that could, like I said, that could be rectified in a couple of weeks. So I'd love it if he gave some thought about doing one of these pre-Olympia European shows or a post-Olympia. But at the end of the day, if he wants to shut it down, that's his prerogative. But I think he'll do a lot better in the shows, whatever shows he decides to do next, even if it's just Texas. Agreed.
So making his open debut in the show, even though he's qualified for the 212 Olympia, and he is doing the 212 Olympia, Kareth Baggio is jumping in as an open. So this was 3 weeks ago. Do we have anything more recent than that, Kareth? 2 weeks ago. I'm curious to see how he looks with the extra few pounds. I'm sure he's not going to be like 230 or anything like that. It's probably going to be, no, that's not him. That's one of his clients. But I'm just curious to see how much bigger and fuller he can look without the weight cap.
Yeah, I like it when the 212s jump into an open show, because sometimes they look wildly better. And other times they just look like a 212 that's 4 weeks out from who's 218, who's 4 weeks out from making weight for his 212 show. And they just don't look as good. They're just not in condition. They're just big, full, and heavy. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually brings his best physique as an open, or whether he has to sacrifice that little bit of size and really has to squeeze it down to make 212. So it's going to be interesting to see. So I can't say either way, because I just don't know. I literally don't know how much he struggles to make weight. Because we know the 212s that really used to like kill themselves to get down to 212, and then there's the guys that kind of make it comfortably, and there's the other ones that just kind of cruise in nice and steadily. So it'll be interesting to see, because like I said, I don't have any knowledge on how hard he has to work to get down to 212. So it'd be interesting to see if he looks actually better as an open, and if he does really well, then what does that mean for him in the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been a top 5 212 Olympia guy a couple times now, but I don't think he would fare that well in the Mr. Olympia. He would still need some more work for that, but he's got a few years left in him for sure. So we'll see how he does. Yeah. All right, let's turn our attention to the big show happening in Tokyo, Japan. The same day we have the Masters Olympia, and we don't have too many big names in the show like we have in years past. But Phil Clahar, the Jamaican tank, to me, that's probably the favorite right now. He's looking pretty large and pretty conditioned. That was.
Yeah, I to be honest, I was shocked to see that he was. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said to you, I said, Phil's doing the Masters Olympia. I thought he was retired.
Yeah, last year he retired.
So he can't. Oh, so what? So was it just purely the Masters Olympia that brought him back, or what? What was the reason? Because it sounded like he was completely done, and that was it. He was walking away. So when did when did that shift come from I'm retired and I'm done to I'm coming back and I'm doing the Masters Olympia only?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
He might be done with open shows. I'm not even sure. I know I should know because I do that Muscle Discord podcast with him every Monday night, and we always wrap the episodes up the last 10 weeks or so about talking about his Masters Olympia prep. Okay,
cool. No, I like Phil. Phil's awesome, and the thing is, I don't see any of the names on there that are really at his level. So if he shows up looking, as good as we've seen him, I think the best we've ever saw him was in Texas was that 21?
Yeah, I believe so. The first
that was him, Kuklo, and Valier. I mean, those three he could have given it to any of those three. They look sensational. Remember, he went from 11th to 2nd in one show in a couple of weeks. Remember, was it Tampa to Texas or whatever, something like that? And he really
Tampa, but we didn't go to Texas that year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he looked really, really good. But if he nails it, I have to say that I'm really disappointed I didn't see Kamal, because I saw Kamal the last few months. I've seen his updates and his training stuff, and you could see he was starting to get back in shape. So I just assumed that he was going to be doing the Masters Olympia. So when I saw his name not on the list, I was really disappointed, because the thing is, the Masters Olympia is every 2 years, and let's be honest, if Kamal shows up, he would have been the favorite to win this, because he's incredible. So and he did say he was going to go. Oh, hang on! In 2019, he told me he was going to go another 5 years, so that would have taken him up to 2024. So I suppose that's the deal he made with his wife. But I honestly, I've got his number. I didn't even message him. I just went, obviously. I just said to myself, obviously he's going to be doing the Masters Olympia, because you could see things are starting to happen with his physique again. So because you could see him starting to ramp it up, and I was like, I hope he gets rid of that awful beard as well.
Yeah,
I hate that beard. It's awful. It's awful.
This was 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was possibly getting ready for something.
That's a 10-week out looking Kamal to me.
Yeah. You would know.
Because things with Kamal, he's what can I say? Pre-contest is when he really ramped it up, let's say. So I thought he's not going to do that for no reason. So I just assumed he was going to be just basically going to defend his title, and that was it, going to be there for another 2 years maybe. So okay. Oh well, that's a shame.
Well, I don't want to keep talking about people that aren't in the show, because I have a bad habit of doing that. So Fred Biggie Smalls, I'm not following. Oh gosh, my bad.
Wrong.
I always hit follow. Bad woman. So let's see how recent this is. Well, that was 19 weeks ago. It's a big guy, great shape.
That's not new.
No, that's 19 weeks, but that might be from a past prep.
Because he's got a pec tear now.
Oh, okay. Well, this was 22 hours ago. Is this over in Japan? I think probably. A lot of them are already over there.
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, Phil's over there already. Galanti. Because what's today? We're Wednesday, but I think Japan is almost a full day ahead, time zone wise, of the United States. Fred, known as one of the greatest posers in the sport. Yeah, there you can see the pec tear. So this was 2 days ago.
Looks good. It's good condition.
Yeah, exactly. He's still got the delts, the quads, a lot of things. Oh, there he is dancing. He won best poser many, many times. Is that his kid, or is that just some random kid from the audience?
Some random kid he pulled out of the audience.
Somebody just tossed their child on stage. I don't know. So, yeah, okay. That's Klein. He's also a coach. So we got Fred. Who else we got in the open? Oh, okay. Here's someone I don't think I've mentioned in quite a while, from Czech Republic. Slavoj.
Yeah, big guy.
Slavoj Bednar.
Yep.
There's some shots from Chicago Pro last year, I think it was. He's got that Eastern European condition that we always talk about. Those guys always bring it.
We have good clen in Europe.
We have the fake clen here. Yeah. Just a sideline. Dennis Wolf told me years ago.
Yeah.
Because the Americans always said those European guys must have all these great drugs we don't have. Dennis said, you know what? We said that about you guys in America. They must have the best drugs.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks somewhere else has these secret drills.
Well, when I used to live in Cambridge many years ago, I was driving out a different way out of town once, and I went past the Organon factory where all the English sustanon was made.
Ah.
And back in the day, English sustanon was like the gold standard. It was like the stuff that like rocking horse shit never, very rarely sort of showed up, and it was like the holy grail. Like if you got like 10 amps worth of that, you really kept it away for your show or something, like, because it was so powerful. I got really bad gyno on one shot a week of it once.
Jeez.
Yeah, on Cambridge Suston Organon. And funny enough, I was in Ireland with Lee Priest the other week. We were driving out of town, and I saw literally about 4-minute drive from the gym, there's a company called Norbrook. And I was like, I said, they make great gear. I said, go give him a knock on the door, go get it direct for the guys.
Wow, okay. So Slavo's great muscle quality, density. I see him as a definite first call-out guy. He'll be in the top 5 somewhere. Yeah,
he's good. He's big. He's conditioned. He's a monster. I've seen him on stage as well, and photos don't really do him justice because he's like that Bruno. He's obviously taller and bigger and thicker when in real life, and it doesn't really show through in photos.
And here's a surprise. I didn't even know he was 40. He must have just turned 40 fairly recently. Dorian Haywood, who we've seen many a time. So condition has sort of been his nemesis in the past, but I could see the glutes are dialed in. He'll be up there too. He'll get a good look.
Yeah, I know. I was happy to see his name on the list as well because he does so many shows and he kind of keeps plugging away and he's big and he's got the huge delts. And I remember I saw him at the 2017 Tampa and I couldn't believe he was like 4th call out. And I was like, he's better than that. He's a lot better than that. And I know sometimes his legs look good and other times they look really flat and the sweep looks really kind of lifeless. Yeah. But if you look, looking at that there, he looks nice and full. He might be one of these guys that when he really cuts down in that last few days or last week, with the water restriction and whatever, sometimes it just comes off those weak body parts. And, a few days before you've got nice full legs and then you get on stage and you're like, oh shit. You see it all the time with athletes. It usually comes off their kind of like their stubborn body part or the body part they least want to lose kind of fullness on. So good to see him. I hope he gets like a good top 5, top 6 placing.
I believe he will. Yeah, I remember many times that was the one thing that if he was flat, it was always the quads that suffered. Always.
Yeah. They look nice and full there. They're popping there.
So there's not too many repeats as far as defending their titles, but it's in Japan. Of course, Hidetada Yamagishi is going to go. Why wouldn't he? It's his backyard or his former backyard.
Well, he's one of the promoters, isn't he?
I don't know. I mean, that would seem like a conflict of interest if he is. I don't know.
He's part of it. I think he's one of the reasons why him and Iris had it taken. They partnered up with, obviously Jake. It would be Jake and Alina, wouldn't it? Or just Jake. And the reason they took it to Japan, I think I think he's part of the reason why it was taken to Japan. I mean, I might be wrong.
No, yeah. I mean,
I think he's, but obviously there's not a conflict because the judges have been flown in from different countries anyway. They don't give a shit on stage. They judge what they see. So I personally don't see that as a conflict.
I mean, and he won fair and square. It's not like he didn't deserve to win 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. This was 7 weeks ago. So he's lost a little bit of pop since he was competing in the, I don't want to get confused, say Open 212, but let's just say the regular 212 before he switched over to Masters.
Hang on, he was a good Open.
Yeah, he was a good Open. He
was a top 10 Olympia guy. I've seen him get 8th place in the Olympia in the Open.
That's right. I've
got 2007, around 2006, 2007, 2008. I mean, he was top 10 Olympia. Like he was like Ronnie Raquel, one of those slightly over 212 guys that was still doing well in the Open. So he's done well there in 3 different categories: Open, 212, and Masters. So hats off to him. And I like the fact he's still competing as well because you can just see it's purely because he loves it, and he's a fantastic poser as well. And I like him. Cool guy. I
like him. I got to know him a little bit because we were both with Gaspari Nutrition for quite a while. Is he still with Gaspari? Not even sure.
Yes, I think so. Do you remember? Were you in the car with me when we got him, Stan Efferdin? When we were going to the Arnold, he gave us a lift, and Hidetada gave us a lift, and that car cut us up.
That's right.
And then he knocked the car in front, clipped the front. There's a little tiny hire car. There was me, Hidetada, and I think it was you maybe in the back. Yeah. And then the car clipped, and then the guy got out, and he was all like, "You kicked my car," even though it was his fault. He cut us up. And then Stan Efferdin got out the car and stood up, and he just went, "Oh, it's fine, no problem." And I was just like, "That's going in my MD column."
That's right, because Stan was about 6'2" and 280 or something. He was a big dude.
Yeah. That was what year was that? It must have been 2014, something like that. Yeah.
So he also owns a gym there. I've been seeing some of the guys train there.
Powerhouse.
Well, so he owns a Powerhouse. I think he still owns the one in Las Vegas with Iris as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
doing well, because that's every meathead's dream, is we want to own a gym. He's done.
Cool guy. I like Hidetada. Just a nice guy. I've got his number actually. It's he's a lovely guy. Yeah, because I'm trying to expand the Olympia tours, the All-Star tours to Japan and the Asia as well. And he was one of my contacts. So he actually put me in contact with a few people that, could potentially help make it happen. So where's Vinny?
So there's Vinny. Vinny's in the 212 again. I've known Vinny since I saw him win his class at the 1992 Junior USA out in Culver City, California. But he's been competing since the 80s. He's had 2 shoulder surgeries over the years. This guy's still plugging away. I got to give him
Still going for it. You just got to take your hats off to the people that are just still going and still loving it. It's like, I love seeing Vince Taylor's, when he's doing his biceps and he's still, what is he in his late 60s even? What is he? I mean, is he not? He could be 70 now.
He's got to be close to 70.
He was 40. He was around 40 in 1991. Yeah, so he would be. And he's still got those beautiful arms. Do you know what I mean? And you know that he's still hitting the gym every day. And I just love guys like that. I saw Al Beckles as well, was in his 90s. I bet he's still training as well.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. I love it. Arnold will be training he'll be dying with a dumbbell in his hand, that guy.
So he looks really good. I wish him the best of luck. Another guy who's he's been just all in on this sport for 40 years now, just like us.
Love it.
So I want to look at Derek Farnsworth. Derek's another one. He's been doing this for a very, very long time.
I was just about to ask you if Derek was doing it, actually.
Yeah. So Derek, condition. Look at that.
Good.
Nice, dry, grainy look. Still got the wheels.
Yeah.
I remember when I worked for that American Muscle TV show, 91, someone sent us a videotape of him training. I think he was only 19 because he's not as old as me. He was natty and he was like 150 pounds and he was squatting like 500 pounds per rep.
Wow.
Super strong guy.
And the good thing is with these guys that never, ever stop training is that the skin stays nice and tight, doesn't it? Even when they're competing in the late 40s or 50s and even going into the 60s. If the guys that like him never, ever really stop, the skin, they manage to, you can see a little bit around the abs and stuff, but the skin looks nice and tight and thin. And because there's nothing worse when you see Masters competitors who maybe had a few years off and then come back to Masters and then they've got all this loose skin and it just looks it's kind of distracting. But when it's nice when you see guys like this who've literally never stopped training and competing. So it's good.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when I see guys who didn't start training till later in life, they don't have that loose skin because they just put on all that muscle fairly recently in their lives.
Yeah. It's like stretch marks when you're in a teenage years and you start training and I've got them all over my arms and my chest and stuff from when I was younger and where I started putting on more weight than I would have normally as a normal teenager.
So I didn't recognize a whole lot of names, but I recognize this guy, Toto. I'm going to assume the D is silent and say Jong, Toto Jong.
So familiar with this guy?
Yeah, I've seen him compete a few times. He's really good.
He is good. Yeah, he is really good actually. Look at the legs.
So yeah, he'll be up there. He'll be in that first call out. Beautiful shape. Yeah, the legs. I mean, for a guy over 40, 40's, I know 40's not old.
Yeah. 40's not old, man. I mean, can you believe I'm 1 year away from being 50? I'm sure people are going to say, absolutely, Giles, you look it. But it's like in my head, like it's like obviously Lauren's like 16 years younger than me. So when I see like even women my own age, I'm just like, God, like I couldn't imagine. I just can't imagine myself being with someone of my own age.
Do you have class reunions for like your high school over there?
No. But I'm on my Facebook. I've got a lot of high school friends, and some of them still look great, and some of them you just think, "Oh my God, time has not been kind to you." So I'm sure they probably say the same about me, but I don't care. But in my own, it's how I feel about myself is the main thing.
Yeah.
So
good luck to him. He looks fantastic. Classic physique. I'm going to call it right here. Feo, Alex. Go ahead.
Alex Cambronero.
Yeah. Alex is the heavy favorite. He's the defending champ.
Safe bet.
This was a week ago. There he is with Kai Green. And I don't know who the other guy is.
Hang on. That can't be Kai Green. He's got white boots on, not red.
No, Kai has 2 pair of boots. He's got the white and the
He's got 100 pairs of each, 100 red, 100 white.
It's funny. He wears tights like almost everywhere. I mean, I
Really.
remember
we
went to a Redcon gym opening, me and Hector Mendoza a few years ago in Nashville.
I remember.
And he went to there was a party there in Singerman's house that night. Great food. Good Lord. I was chowing down. But he had tights on even there. I was like, wow.
After a social thing.
That's commitment.
Oh, well, you can never say that Kai is never not himself. So I think that's
100%. There is a Billy Garnon. That was
Billy Garnon, the MC, MC.
Winning the MC 2 years ago did you go to the Masters 2 years ago?
No, I didn't. That was the one in Romania, but I wasn't very well on that because I was supposed to be doing the commentary and I felt really, really bad in 2023. And I met, remember all those medications I was on, and then I just binned them in August. And that's when the Masters Olympia was. So, so I cancelled on them the last minute. So they got Bob Chick, and I think Jay Cutler was there as well, but there was somebody else they got in place of me. And then I was too embarrassed to even ask if I wanted to do if they wanted me to do the Romania because I felt like I'd let them down. But it was good. Yeah,
and there's their lovely wife Maggie. She's been. I tell you, I know I've told this story, but I love repeating old stories because I'm old. 2005 Ronnie Coleman weekend, a workout weekend in Arlington, Texas. They were there with me. There was only 20 or 22 of us there, and they were kids. They were married, but I think she was only like 21. He was like 22 or something. And he was about not even half the size he is now. He was just starting to get into bodybuilding, but I could see the passion that they had. Their English wasn't awesome yet, but luckily, my Spanish was still passable at the time. But I wish him a lot of luck. They're a great couple. I've got nothing but good things to say about them.
I've interviewed Alex a couple of times. He's a cool guy. I like him. Very cool, very chilled. That's a good interview as well.
Yeah, and for those of you who are sneakerheads, he has got a massive sneaker, like probably $100,000 worth of rare collector's sneakers.
Wow, that's like me with my comics.
Yeah, exactly. Ferguson. Yeah. So I'm just going with all the ringers now to finish this off. So Lucky Libra is Andre Ferguson. He must have just turned 40 like yesterday, I'm thinking. I don't know. He can't be that old.
Yeah, because he's still, a couple of years ago, he was winning everything still in men's physique. So I remember he was winning the Arnold. He was every single show. It was Andre Ferguson. So he's only a couple of years past like his best ever. So, I mean, that's like, this is like Samson doing the Masters Olympia in 2 years' time, isn't it? He's winning everything, and then 2 years later does the Masters. I mean, that's basically the equivalent. Somebody at the top of their game in the Open, in their category, the classic. I'm sorry, men's physique, obviously. Sorry,
he might have the most pro wins for any men's physique. I'm not sure because I don't follow MPD that well, but he's got 24 pro wins, including 3 Arnold Classic wins.
There you go. That's not a bad resume, is it?
No. So if he doesn't win this, come on now.
He's obviously if he doesn't win it, then it's probably because he's. I don't know.
He'll win.
Maybe thought it'd be an easy win or something, but he's got too many wins and probably too professional and too experienced to not think I'm going to swoop in and win this because I'm the big name. Because how quickly, especially men's physique, how quickly things can change on a rotation. It's like bikini for women. 1 minute you can be the champ and you can show up the next year and you get 6th. So it's which you don't tend to see apart from Ramy in 22. You don't really see that much in like the Open and the 212. The placings tend to stay more consistent, but men's physique and bikini are the 2 classes where if you show up slightly off in classic this year, there could be a huge shakeup. If somebody doesn't, one of those big top 6 names doesn't come in 100% bang on their best ever, they could get down to like 10th place with the amount of talent that's coming in. And it's exactly the same with men's physique.
Yeah. Shout out to Gilco Productions. A lot of the clips I've been showing on this are from Gilco. Yeah, that is awesome. Just spectacular. One of my greatest regrets as a competitor is I never had any Gilco footage of me.
No, they weren't even born then, Ron.
No, they weren't. They're actually very I've met them. They're brothers, and they're probably not even 30 yet. They're probably like 27.
Wow. They do a great job. I see them running back and forth at the shows, trying to get the pan, when they get the panning thing. You see one with a gimbal, and you think, it's quite annoying. They keep running back and forth, but the footage they get is absolutely amazing. So I think that's why they get a pass from all the other, because their work is so valued and so appreciated by all the athletes. It was a real, when they came along, it really kind of leveled up the whole, contest coverage, footage stuff kind of thing now, and you see a lot of other videographers kind of copying that style with the resolution, is it the 4K or the 8K or whatever, and the way that they film it, because it's kind of expected now, so, and plus if you've got a pro show and that you've got Gilco or one of these high level, these visual guys there, then they're always gonna be appreciated.
And your figure Olympia champion will probably repeat. She won the Masters Figure Olympia 2 years ago. Jessica Reyes Padilla from Puerto Rico. She's not in the U.S., but it is a U.S. territory. Yeah, I mean, it's a massive lineup. I don't know if you've seen the list, but some of these divisions, I think figure is huge, men's physique is huge, classic is a huge group of guys. But I don't see anybody beating Jessica. She's just that tough to beat.
She's awesome, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just also you should mention that Missy is competing this weekend.
Let's do that.
In figure. Is it Florida she's competing in this weekend? I just literally saw it today because I knew she was getting ready for something. And then I saw a post today and it said she's competing this weekend. So I'll predict that she will win. And I think she's going to be a threat for the Olympia title, mate. I really do. I think she's going to do something that I think was a really brave move, being like a multi-Olympia fitness champion and then just go. No, she had the injury. I wonder if the injury played a part. Maybe it's like, do I really want to go or risk this going through this again? But for her to sort of just put everything into a physique rather than sort of half into the physique and half into the routine. Because when she used to come out in the physique round in the fitness, it was like, holy shit. And everybody else was a disappointment.
Right.
The thing is, she had the physique and the routine. And that's why she dominated in the fitness for so many years. I mean, that year she tore her thing. She would have won that as well. I'm sorry. She would have won it that year as well. But she was like Sydney Gill in the figure. She was so dominant because, like I said, physique and routine, she just killed it. She killed everyone in it. So for her to take the switch and now do figure, I think is, and imagine what a story that would be if she, especially after losing the Olympia title when she had the injury, not losing it technically, but winning it back after the injury and then switching to figure. Imagine if she won it. I mean, I think she'll be top 3 regardless, but imagine if she, look at that.
So,
I mean, that's a champion.
So this is where I need Tigers, because you follow so many things better than I do. Sydney Gillen's still competing, or is she retired?
She retired. Yeah, she got bored of winning.
6. She won 6, right?
8.
8. Did she win 8?
Yeah, she won 8. Yeah.
This is why I have you here, because so people don't roast me. They're still going to roast me for not knowing that. At least when I do my own videos and there's no one to correct me, they're correcting the comments.
They can't say you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, and you get the old supposed to be an expert bullshit from you know who.
I mean, I don't know all the other front runners for Figure Olympia off the top of my head, but I would be very surprised if Missy Truscott does not win the Figure Olympia this year.
I could see the last two being Jessica, Missy. I like that Lola as well. I think she's really good.
Lola Montez, yeah.
Beautiful physique, beautiful lines. I could see that being like the top 3, the final 3 standing. I don't even follow figure that closely, but they're the first 3 that pop to mind as in the 3 best. But I think Missy's really gonna. I think she'll do it this year. I think she's either. I think I can see the last 2 between her and Jessica. So I'm very excited about that.
And you would know this. This is where again I rely. Trustin, I do rely on you heavily for a lot of these things. Did she have to re-qualify for the new division? Is that why she's doing this show?
That's why she's doing Florida. Because I said to her, I said, well, what do we? And she goes, well, it's because I mean, I suppose you got Derek Lunsford who won the 212 Olympia, then got the special invite. I mean, people remember the fuss that people said, we should have done an open show to qualify. I had no issue with that. So I'd have no issue of Missy jumping straight into the figure Olympia. But I think they've obviously changed the rules now. Because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, actually. I do, actually. I don't think I've got a problem with her jumping straight into the Olympia. But then again, if it's a new division, the thing is the physique round was part of fitness anyway. So it's not like she didn't have to prepare her physique for a round that she was judged on. It's basically just, it's like her stepping on stage without doing the routine where 100%, not 50%, of the marks are taken up from the physique round. So I think she, because I'm interested to see how she looks with a full year of purely just focus on, because imagine having to do the gymnastics and all the stretching and all the, the time and hours you have to put into creating these routines. I mean, look at that. I mean, how much time? And then you've got to work on your physique as well. It's like literally doing 2 divisions at once. That's why I think fitness is really it's a lot of work, you know. So I think she's going to look sensational, and I think we're in for a shock.
And for how many years were we saying, man, if she switched to figure or women's physique, she would crush it?
She was figure though.
Oh, okay. See,
she used to do both. She used to do figure and fitness, and then she switched to fitness because obviously she was just killing it. But she's gone. Okay, I'd have to ask her though. I think maybe the injury is, or maybe she's just won it that many times. She's just thought, oh well, I need a new challenge, and I can get excited about this. And maybe she was having problems. You don't know. You don't know that. Obviously, when they're on stage doing the routine after the injury, she might still have some little niggles or some pains that, you know, she's worried about maybe worsening or sort of happening again. So I don't know. I don't know what her thought process is. I'd have to speak to her really.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get an interview with her. I'll let her get through with this show.
Do it. Yeah, do it.
Because I'm sure she's got quite a story to tell. And it's exciting to see people switch divisions.
Missy's awesome, man. She's cool. She's one of the coolest people, I think. She's certainly one of the coolest women in this industry. She's very, very nice lady. An incredible athlete.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a very, what they do is so dangerous. It's I won't say it is death-defying, because if you land the wrong way, God forbid.
If you land on your neck, like all those wrestlers, and they land on their neck, and that's it. Their neck's broken, and they're either dead or paralyzed. That's it. Boom, you're done. It's not like a sprain where you can, you know, after 6 weeks you're gonna be walking fine again. You know, you could be like bloody Christopher Reeve. You know, when he fell off the horse and landed on his neck. You know, you're basically you're paralyzed. So it's like, and that thing is, you're practicing in your garden or in a studio or something like that, and all those lights and all the distractions and stuff like that. You know, it's like when you practice your posing routine, getting ready for a show, and you're looking in the mirror, or you're in a studio, or you're in the gym or something like that. And the next thing you know, you're on stage, and it's a completely different environment, and it's hard to try and remember everything that you're supposed to be doing. I've seen many people like just literally forget everything they've learned and everything you've seen them do in those progress videos and you've seen on Instagram of them posing beautifully, and they get up on stage and they just forget everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember, was it 2023 she blew out her knee on stage at the Olympia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember distinctly being I went out to the lobby to go to the bathroom or something, and that was when she came out in the wheelchair with a couple people, and I just, you know, she had, you could tell she'd been crying, and her knee was already swollen up to like the size of a grapefruit, her kneecap. I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad for her.
Was it 22, the year we were there?
Well, it might have been 22. Because
I don't want to get it wrong, because we're going to get roasted in the comments again.
It was one of those years, guys. It was one of those years. I mean, whatever year it was.
Right, but she had like a long recovery, and it was a serious injury, you know. So the fact that she came back and won it and is now jumping to another division, I mean, it's a kind of story that gets me excited about categories that I'm not that excited about. You know, generally, like at the Open 212, even the Classic, I can get really worked up over them. Yeah. But, you know, like the figure and stuff like that. But when you've got a story like hers, I think it really adds, I think it puts a lot of good light as well on the category as well, because, it's because it's basically just quarter turns. But I think this kind of storyline and this kind of athlete coming into it, I think brings a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and assuming Jessica wins, would have a 2-time Masters Olympia champion, and she's been runner-up at the Olympia at least once, a couple times.
Oh, the rest?
Yeah,
several times. It was always her and Sydney, 1 and 2.
So now with Sydney gone, it'd be interesting to see who the next champ is.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Jessica, Lola, or Missy. It's one of those, I think.
Yeah, I would put money on that it's either one of those, because really that's the three. That is the top 3 in my mind from what I've observed and, you know, followed. But I could see Missy and Jessica being the last 2, and Bob ready to say, and you know. So.
Well, it's always good.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, will be. It'll be nice to see a new champion as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, 8 times, man. Thanks for correcting me. That's impressive. She won.
It might be 11.
11. I think she was only 22 when she won her first one. She was very young.
She was a kid. I mean, she was just so far ahead. And it's funny because you're on about Sydney, yeah?
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah, but things with Sydney, the last few years, she got smaller and softer, and all the girls got bigger and harder, and she was still winning. Like, as soon as she walked out on stage, you're like, okay, she's won. That's how good she was.
Yeah.
That you can go one way, all the other competitors trying to chase you go the other way.
Yeah.
It's like when Jay was chasing Ronnie. It's like if Jay started downsizing every single year, then about 4 years in of downsizing and becoming smaller, he ends up beating Ronnie. It's like it wouldn't happen. But in this category, it was a real kind of, I don't think we'll ever see that again. That kind of thing happen where someone goes one way with their physique and all the other girls go the other, and she still manages to win and win easily as well with straight firsts.
So good luck this weekend, Missy. I don't think you need it. I think you probably got this one in the bag.
$50. I've got $50 on you.
50 pounds.
50 pounds, yeah.
No euro.
Tiger tokens.
You help me learn there's no euro. You can't spend euros in the UK.
Just in Republic of Ireland.
Oh, okay. See, I learned something new every damn week. So that's it, guys. So big weekend coming up. We got the Texas Pro. We got the Masters Olympia. I'll be doing some sort of wrap-up coverage. So please keep your notifications on. Hit that bell if you don't already have it. If you're not subscribed to me, please just subscribe. It takes you literally not even a second, a tenth of a second. Click, and you're done. So, Giles, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time and helping correct me on a lot of these facts.
Wrong Harris.
Harris.
Hey, listen, I get it wrong sometimes. I mean, it hasn't happened for the last 400 years, but it could happen one day again. No, the thing is, do you know the funny thing is, right? The whole ironic thing is, I actually like being proved wrong. You know, when you make a prediction, like say, and then someone surprises you, it's like, I don't get upset about that. Everyone goes, sometimes you'll see the comments, oh, you didn't see this guy coming, you got this wrong. And I'm like, I'm glad I got it wrong, because if it's too predictable, then where's the excitement? Where's the anticipation for someone like me to watch a show? Because I'm already worked out, okay, the top 6 is going to be this, and this. Maybe, if something happens, they might flip-flop. It's like, I don't like the sort of, I don't want it to be too predictable.
Right.
Because when you follow the sport enough, you kind of get to know what kind of physiques are the ones that do well, and you can see the ones that are you can see the different levels to this in all the categories. So when I'm proved wrong, I'm actually very, very happy about that. So all these people that sort of get all like, yeah, you're wrong, and it's like, yeah, you're supposed to be in. I'm like, no, actually, I'm happy about that.
Well, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a few athletes that because I didn't have them predicted as the winner of a show, they never.
Aaron.
Who?
Aaron, the 212, remember?
No, but this was, I'm talking about more recently, because I don't want to name any names. There have been guys who I predicted somebody else would win a show that they ended up winning, and they would either make a comment on their Instagram like, haha, or, they would private message me and like, you hater, now look, I proved you wrong. I'm happy for whoever wins. I genuinely, truly am. But I can't say everybody's going to win. I go with my gut. I go with what I'm looking at in the updates. I go with past track records, how they performed. And a lot of times the guy I pick to win doesn't win, but I'm always happy for the winner because all these guys work their asses off. It's a brutally hard sport without a lot of money in it for most of them. So I don't know why they feel that way. I know in one instance, I had the same experience with the same competitor. Because I was supporting the other guy who was actually a very, very, very high level champion. I don't think I think I could be forgiven for supporting a guy that was, but they almost like they take it personally. It fuels them, and it's like, you don't have me winning. It's like, well, no, because I think the other guy, I haven't, what? Plus, the new version of their physique we don't see until they get on stage. Right.
It's like in 2022. When I was getting all those interviews for Ronnie, I've got Rami, we've got Derek Lunsford, Andrew Jack, and I snuck Samson in there. And they went, "Oh no, Giles, we want because this was before he'd done the Olympia once." And they said, "Oh no, Giles, we want to," because I couldn't get hold of Nick Walker, he wasn't responding to me. So I said, "Look, we've got a slot there, 15-20 minute slot." I said, "Why don't we put Samson?" I said, "Look, this guy's really good. He's going to be top 10. He might even be top 6." And they went, "Oh, go on then. We may as well to fill the slot." And then Samson ended up getting 6th place. He could have been 5th. And then obviously then after that, vroom, so, sometimes you just, when you haven't seen that version of their physique, it's you can't, like I said, we're going on what we've seen in Britain, like with Quinton the other week. It's like, I couldn't tell what was going on. I couldn't tell because in some lights he looked great, in other lights he didn't look great. And I was like, I don't know where I can place him because he's the one I don't know where to put,
Yeah.
So whereas like Jordan was kind of looking great every single week, and he was like, okay, this guy is just going to get, this guy is obviously going to nail it. So I think it's a safe bet to put him as the winner, and that's what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'll be happy for Jordan. I'll be happy for Quinton, Joe, anybody who wins Texas this weekend. I'll be very happy for you. Masters Olympia.
You want Quinton to win just because you want to get him a qualification? Look, I do. Yeah. But if he's not the best on stage, then he doesn't deserve to win.
Correct. Yeah.
But if he is, then 100% all power to him.
And to clarify, I would only give him the win to get into the Olympia if it was so close between Jordan and him that you could flip a coin. If Jordan deserves to win, I absolutely want Jordan to get the win, and he will.
Okay, you totally backtrack there, mate.
No, because that's what I said. I said if it was like a tie, if it was so close.
Yeah,
where you're like, oh my God, they both look like just incredible today.
I gotta say one last thing. That Quinton, I was watching some of his compulsories. He looked a little bit nervous and a bit not. There was a little bit of he could do with a bit more practice on his compulsories. I think he could do with like a little bit of extra time put into that, because there was a couple of times he wasn't quite holding the pose, and he wasn't getting into the pose properly, and he wasn't showcasing like the physique and also the improvements he'd made. I think to the level that I think his physique deserved to have. So yeah, maybe just a little bit, and that's really nitpicky, but my God, he's moved, he's really leveled up. And I think in the next couple of years, like I said, he reminds me of a 2022 Samson. So, if he breaks through to that next ceiling, then, he's going to be crashing the top 6 of the Olympia in the next couple of years.
The next Nigerian superstar. Yes, he's Nigerian. All right, guys. It's been a long power hour. Appreciate you guys watching. Giles, always appreciate you helping me out on these. And he's downloaded a new browser, and that's why we don't have a delay anymore. It was awesome.
Yes, I know, because I've got fiber optic, and it's super fast. I do the speed test on my phone. I'm like, why is it still slow? And then every time I come up, it says, do you want to switch to this browser? And I always say no. And then I just thought, hang on a minute, maybe it's that. So we did, and it worked perfectly. Sorry, everyone.
As you guys would say in UK, it's sorted now. It's sorted. Yes. So, all right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Keep your notifications on for this coming weekend. Thanks for watching Power Hour. We'll see you.